Gemini seekers, I recorded a reading for you just now. It was awesome. And then I realized it wasn't recording. So let's do this again. And this will also be awesome, I'm sure. Working with the After Tarot, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Morgainne, and this is the Existential Shift. There will be a sequel for this reading, so if you resonate and want to dive deeper, it will be available on Patreon for separate purchase and on Tier Shifter on channel membership. All sequels for unlimited streaming. Okay, whoa. It's going to have similar tones to the first reading, so let's see. Queen of Swords in the upright, Hierophant in the reverse. The other one had the devil in the upright, and behind every devil there's a Hierophant, and behind every Hierophant there's a devil. So having the Hierophant in the reverse implies the devil is still here. Alongside Queen of Swords, this could be the shadow. Okay, I'll stop acting like a tarot reader, like a teacher of tarot teacher, and start talking like a tarot reader. There's a belief system that is not based in truth, but it's more based in ideology from a mindset that is stuck, that it's not open, right? The combination of Queen of Swords with the Hierophant in the reverse, something is not in alignment with true truth. And today it's like everybody's like, the truth about, and then it's not the truth. The truth on, and then it is the truth. And it's like the word truth no longer necessarily represent truth. It can represent lie disguised as truth. How do you tell the difference? Look within. Something that I appreciate about numbers is that numbers do not lie, right? Propagandists do, haters do, not numbers. Numbers show you the right picture, be it accurate statistics, percentages, tangible results and tangible effects that are mundane and realistic. There's something that you need to examine closely, Gemini, the facts. To look at the objective, realistic facts. Are they in alignment with this belief or not? Because this say it will not, that it will make you understand that something was not as true as it was presented to you, or with in some cases by you. There has been a misalignment. Held and guarded and sustained by intellectual ego. What do you mean I was wrong? That's not possible. It's possible you've been wrong. It's possible the other person was wrong. It's possible that the thing that you and the other person are under the impression of is wrong, or aspects of it, or the way it is perceived, and so on and so forth. But there's a little butterfly here landing on the sword, and I feel like it's the delivery of the beginning of understanding something seemingly small, a little fact that was unknown to you, something along those lines will start opening you to that greater understanding, the true truth. Maybe it gives context. Maybe it showcases something that was omitted. Maybe it gives you, maybe you're learning something that gives you the ability to recognize something differently. Or maybe there's a transformation. A butterfly can be a transformation. There's a transformation in you or in your environment that starts that butterfly effect. Someone is trying to showcase a fluid, not fluid, a less rigid aspect of truth or of the situation, so that the rigid narrative can open up. Um, there has been some misguided guidance, right? With the Hierophant in the reverse here, there has been some misguided guidance. And now Spirit, presented by this butterfly, is kind of whispering in different ways in your ear, helping you to see things more clearly from a higher, broader understanding. Seven of Wands. This will create resistance. One of the things that deny people most of the ability to change their mind is, well, what does it mean about me in retrospect? Does it mean that until now I was wrong? Does it mean that until now I was the bad guy? Does it mean that until now everything what does it imply about everything that I've done in relation to that? It's very difficult to come to terms with that. It's like, so people sometimes would rather stay in their mindset than being proven wrong somehow, and then they stay there. That is a very dangerous place to stay in. Um, so with the Seven of Wands here, I see someone trying to resist that understanding. And this could be you, or this could be someone that you're dealing with, Gemini. These are general readings, so always consider that this applies to you. And of course, it can apply to someone else, and it can apply both ways in a way that is mirroring. Not necessarily, but could be. Um, and because of the Hierophant and the Queen of Swords, it's like, this is very like a group thing, okay, or a community thing. And there's a lot of people here in the Seven of Wands coming at the person with the one wand with resistance and argument and be like, no, so there might be other people involved who prefer to stay in that mindset. That you'll have to, like, as soon as you realize it and try to tell other people, they're not gonna be very open to it. Maybe they'll even try to discredit what you're saying, or you will try to discredit that. This could be your resistance coming up. Six of Pentacles. Maybe someone wants to stay small, stay in the perception of righteous indignation that puts them in a place of either victim mentality or belittles them in a way, because when you're belittled and you're the victim in the story, not in the reality, then it grants you something. Sometimes it grants you help from others that if you were truly in that position, it would be good and worthy and true and right. But because you're not truly in that position, then it's not right. It also keeps you stuck in a place of needing someone else's help instead of being able to do it by yourself, kind of thing. So someone is constantly giving you fish instead of teaching you how to fish. Or you're doing that. You're not teaching someone how to fish. You constantly give them fish because it keeps them dependent. It keeps them around. It keeps them looking up toward the giver. Sometimes we don't want to break out of a situation because it's easier to be in that situation where we rely on others. Sometimes we have to rely on others, and it's a very good thing. We're interdependent creatures. Um, but it's when we make it into a strategy or where it becomes systematic, when we don't learn from our mistake and stay in a cycle, that it becomes an issue and it hurts us more than it hurts others. Another might continue benefiting from giving you fish because I don't know, they get tax exemption for that. They don't want to teach you how to fish because as long as they give you small fishes, they get large tax incentives. I don't know. And a pat on the back, on the shoulder for being a good guy or a good gal. Um, so they're not going to help you out of that small mentality. Maybe you're not going to help them out of that small mentality. Why for so long we needed people to be the middlemen or between us and our God, because it meant that we needed them and it gave them power. So the notion that we can speak directly to God, whatever you believe in, was groundbreaking, and it took a lot of power out of people, away from people. Um, the delusion of power. So you're facing a situation where there needs to be skipping the middleman or skipping the authority that um, grants you the right. And it's not a healthy authority that keeps things stable and responsible. It's the kind of authority that takes advantage and gaslights and keeps one small. So there's this breaking out of that. And the process will be uncomfortable. Whoever has been selling the illusion to someone else or to others that they need them, that they can't without them, that it has to go through them. This is going to this is going to fall. This is going to fall down to not to be exposed again. Again, depends on. Um, okay, we have a few cards. So we have Six of Wands and Four of Pentacles. The Chariot, Ace of Swords, and Six of Swords. Beautiful. So first of all, we have three sixes. Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and Six of Swords. Gemini, you're given an opportunity to break out of a conception that kept you limited and perhaps limiting by default. And you're about to embark on a journey of some sort. Now, this could be a journey of the mind where you explore other horizons and broader understandings. For some of you, it will require travel or movement. For some of you, it will just be in the mind. No, there's also physical movement here. There will be a part of you or someone in your life that will try to stop you from doing so. And then I was like, don't lose the help that is given you, the help that I'm giving you. You need me. What are you going to do without all these things that I'm giving you? Hold on to the change that I'm giving you as charity. Why would you go and try to make your own and succeed on your own? Why do you need so much? There's some gaslighting and coercion and shaming involved. Why would you leave me? Who else will love you like me, right? Why would you venture on your own business adventure and independently and start your own business? You need me for this and that and that. Like someone is saying that or something along those lines, and it's not because it's not about care, it's about control. And once you recognize that you can do without anything, you'll be able to embark on a journey that can grant you so much more. If you're willing to sleep on the bench, you don't care that your partner, that you need them financially, cuts you off, and you don't care about leaving because you don't need their walls. And that frees you, liberates you, and puts you on a track to finding your own place, right? I recommend saving money and making a plan, of course. This was an example. I don't want you on the street, but maybe for some of you in very specific cases, that would be relatively better than being protected by walls of someone who abuses you. That was a very specific example. You can apply it to many things. Um, you can go your own philosophical way, and maybe you don't need this specific text that tells you how to think. Inspires you, uplifts you, guides you, but doesn't tell you where to stop. There's a sky and a horizon. The cube in the chariot symbolizes the Merkava, which is Hebrew for literally chariot, or chariot is English for Merkava. It's the vehicle of consciousness. So the chariot can symbolize a physical vehicle or a vehicle of consciousness, a more esoteric understanding of the tarot, especially with the Ace of Swords. So the mind expands vastly in a very sharp way to do with something specific. But that one specific ace turns into a Six of Swords, where it grants you, where one understanding that is being developed grants you a lot more. It gives you the tools to understand and venture into more. And more not from a place of greed. We can't understand everything or know everything, of course not. But this is a journey that you're set on for a reason. It's an understanding for you that it's relevant for you to venture to. Some sort of discovery, right? If we didn't have explorers throughout time, we wouldn't discover lands. It's not about taking someone's land. It's about learning and um, expanding your understanding of culture by being a guest that learns and connects and moves. Not all immigration is colonialism, and not all colonialism is immigration. Sometimes the two gets conflated. Take it literally or not. But back to you on a personal level. You're following someone. I'm getting this in the Six of Swords. For some of you, it might come from a need, but even if that is the case, it's just something that Spirit is utilizing to get you to move, to get your butt on the road, either physically or mentally. and explore, reading a different type of book, visiting a different type of land, having a different kind of conversation, learning a different type of faith. Not to take you away necessarily, although it could result in that, but mainly, first and foremost, to not hijack your brain and use it against you in the name of focus. Eight of Pentacles. This is something that you need to constantly work on when it comes to your awareness. It never stops. So even with the next thing you learn, be careful not to stay stuck in there as the ultimate truth. The universe expands. The truth that applied 2,500 years ago has expanded. Okay, if Buddhism, for example, was to be as is and remain as is, there wouldn't be a need of a Maitreya, which is the Buddhist version of a Messiah. If the Buddha had already brought the entire truth as it is for eternity, there wouldn't be the idea of another Buddha, i.e. Maitreya, coming along at some point. It means by default that humanity expands, that God consciousness expands. So the next messenger, divine messenger, will come and expand our understanding, which means that our current understanding is relatively limited. It may have been very expansive and um, progressed and broad at the time in relation to where humanity consciousness was at the time, but now that we've expanded into it, time for the next phase. So there's always need to be that, okay, this is where we're growing into now. One day when we'll be ready, we'll grow into something large, expand into something broader. So focus on understanding the current while staying open to the potential next that will come when it comes. Right now, you're on the verge of the next. And you're guided to waltz into it, right? You won't be able to do that if you'll stay stuck in the way things have been. It's not to say that they weren't good. It's still a Hierophant. But now what? 1 + 1 = 2. It's good to know. But okay, now that you know that, let's learn the next phase of math. It's not to contradict what we knew. It's just to build upon it. And some things will have to fall in the waistline, and some things will remain, and some things will transform. Some things will get, it's like I'm not a baby, but the baby that I was is still in me. But it's also, I'm bigger than that baby. Is either a lie? Is either not me? It's a changing me, and yet it is me. And yet it is me, but it's a changing me. Okay? There is a self, and it is a changing self, and it is a changing self, but then there's still a self. I look completely different than a baby, but I still hold the same genetic structure. We incarnate or reborn, and we change our shape, our character, our behavior, but our genetic structure, our soul structure, our soul remains. Is that in and of itself limited to remain and sustain forever as is? Of course not. But for this time being, yes. A piece of the puzzle will connect to the piece of the puzzle next to it and will be a greater soul. Then will connect to the piece of the puzzle next to it and will be a greater soul. And eventually we will all connect. Streams of consciousness, souls, pieces of a puzzle, we will all connect and become back to oneness. One undivided self. But fragmentation is part of the process, and as long as we're in that process, we have a self, we have a soul, we have an oversoul, more pieces of the puzzle together, and so on and so forth. So fear not. You are and you aren't. You can contain both understandings. You can contain both understandings. I believe in you. Anywho, anything else for me to see here in the general reading before I venture into the sequel, where I clarify the details and see more into the actual personalities, people, situation? Ace of Pentacles. You're off on a very exciting, fated new beginning to begin to create, to begin to understand the next phase. And it can either be very exciting and expanding and successful. This comes with a lot of success. So this will come with success in the tangible world. It's something that will generate luck, because as soon as you're in alignment with where your soul wants to expand to, reality supports. So the path opens up and it's very clear. It's a very tangible new beginning. The small butterfly becomes a great idea, that becomes a great manifestation of something that you've worked for, whether you know it or not, for a very long time. It will all come to pass, and then you'll be like, that's what I've been building toward. This book, this thing that I've been on that I thought was the book, was actually the chapter, a chapter. And working on that chapter and mastering that chapter was very important in order for me to move on to write the next chapter, or read the next chapter and understand the bigger picture of a bigger book than what I thought this was. So your story unfolds in a surprising way, but also not a surprising way. Because in retrospect, you'll understand exactly how it makes sense and not surprising at all. Let's see what the runes have to add. Okay, we have Manaz in the upright and Nodis in the reverse. There's a finish line to cross, and that finish line is not the end. It's the end of one chapter and the bridge to the next. And something to come to terms with is the discomfort that might come with it. But also there's ease in recognizing that the next chapter here with Manaz is just as grounding and brings a sense of belonging and a deep, profound understanding, just like the former. So it's okay. I will also pull more rooms. I'll see you soon in the sequel. It's on Patreon for separate purchase, on channel membership for unlimited streaming, tier shifter. Subscribe if you're new. Hype if this is the first week. Stay magic. Stay true. Stay free. Thank you for being here. I love you. See you soon.